Okay, so the world has come to an end, or the world as we've known it. But it's not all so bad, for in my deep state of depression, a lone man comes up to me and he says, "Now, surely, there must be some things about the way the world was that you don't miss." I'd say, "Well, I sure do miss indoor plumbing." But then he'd say, "Oh, come on, you can think about it. There must be something that you really don't miss about the old world." Well, I suppose so. I suppose I don't really miss the term blue collar or white collar, which you only ever really heard on mainstream media. I guess I wouldn't miss people scheduling their lives around TV programs. That was a little depressing. Lame American sitcoms and comedic films. Where did real comedy go? Repetitive rap and country music and the same pop songs played on the radio every day. Seeing Britney and Madonna kiss at the Video Music Awards. Dogs lick their own butts. Why not show that at the awards? My time under the control of a workplace. Deadlines and schedules for office appointments, meetings, and phone calls. Regulations and procedural viewpoints ruling over common sense. Forced to smile or fake a laugh to avoid seeming rude. Telemarketers, survey callers, and scam artists. Fake, manipulative people who pretend to be honest, compassionate, and wise. Everything that I admire, which gives me hope, turned into bitter lies. Banks, bank machines, telephone banking, and online banking. Ads on TV, radio, magazines, websites, and before films that I pay $10 to watch. Airport lineups and security checks, I won't miss those. Being dragged by friends to eat at McDonald's. Being dragged by friends to shop at Walmart. Being treated like a weirdo for needing some personal space. A lot of personal space. Cliques, yuppies, vampires, and cult followings. I don't mind the goths, though. Goth girls are hot. Rich versus poor. Conformists versus anarchists. Evolutionists versus creationists. Science versus Christianity. Religions versus religions. Pro-choice versus anti-abortion. Left versus right. Black versus white. Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. Except for Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Pepsi tastes better. Having to beg to be hired as a slave. A work slave. Please enslave me. I don't like my freedom. I really don't. I really just want to be a slave all day. Being asked at an interview for a menial job what I'm willing to do that several other people standing in line outside the door might not be willing to do. Whoever will lick boots for pennies will get that job, and that usually means a BSer. Being laid off from a well-paying job because I didn't pick up the pace when the bosses walk in and just stand around and talk all day like everyone else. So on top of being a real working sucker, I also get canned for my honest nature. Being looked down at for appearing to be of a higher or lower class, depending on the crowd, how I am dressed, and my attitude that day. We live in a class system here too in the West. We just pretend that we don't. Seeing how what's killing the planet is regarded as beneficial. The greed which is everywhere, killing the planet and the human heart. How surface bullshit is always regarded as the first step and the way forward. What about starting off on the right track? The constant prevalence to justice, and yet the total lack of real justice. The lack of respect for the body, the mind, and the soul. The suffering of our depraved human nature, nurtured by products aimed to make us feel warmer, like comfort food. How everything seems bought and paid for, where even people are commodities, and parents will be able to choose their baby's eye and hair color like ordering out of a catalog. The total commercialization of everything real and sacred in this world. But perhaps most of all, I won't miss the normality, which masks and justifies all of the madness. The idle chit-chat, avoidance of real issues, to discuss weather and TV shows.